Hi, my name is Ben, and today we're going to talk about how to treat hip flexor pain. Hip flexor agony can be a result of muscle strain or soreness brought about by an excessive amount of movement without enough stretching. Any action that includes twisting or turning at the hip can cause or add hip flexor pain, including running, soccer, cycling, and climbing. At the point when the hip flexor pain occurs, you can take over-the-counter mitigating medicine to diminish the uneasiness and decreasing the swelling. If you need to keep away from drug or supplement with different types of techniques, think about friendly ways to how to help hip flexor pain. The first one that we're going to go over today is just some gentle stretching. Hip flexor torment can be brought about by snugness in the muscles encompassing the hip joint. But the question is how to treat hip flexor pain. The first one we're going to look at is a standing lunge. Standing lunge pattern of exercise is one way on how to treat hip flexor pain. Simply venture forward and stay with one leg before the other and jump position. Keeping the back leg straight, wind your front knee and lower your body until you feel restriction in the hip flexors in the back leg. Sink as low as you can possibly. Be reasonable though and don't go too far, without empowering the front knee to connect past the toe. To extend the hip flexors, tilt your pelvis forward and build up the stretch. Engaging yourself in this sort of exercise will help you assume the decent job on how to treat hip flexor pain. The next one we're going to look at is the kneeling lunge. This is like the standing lunge, however, empowers a more profound stretch. Start in a stooping position with one knee on the ground and the other foot level on the floor with the knee turned to a 90-degree edge. Step up your walk, your front foot to broaden the purpose of the back knee while keeping the knee at a 90-degree angle. Keep your shoulders over your hips to keep up the length of the hip flexors. This exercise additionally will undoubtedly contribute to how to heal hip flexor pain. The next one we're going to look at is called the Pigeon Pose. Start with your hands and knees with your back dimensions. Convey the right knee to the floor between your hands and move your right foot a couple of wet blankets to the other side. Slide your left leg to convey the hips as low to the floor as can be permitted. Push your hands onto the floor, keep your shoulders over the hips, and extend the hip flexors. Rehash the opposite side, and you will acknowledge how much this sort of exercise can help treat hip flexor pain. The next one is cold and compression therapy. Therapeutic cold can likewise help in the most proficient method on how to help treat hip flexor pain by briefly desensitizing nerve endings and decreasing bothering in the muscles and distinctive tissues, including the joint. Dynamic pressure will likewise decrease swelling and prove the advantages of cold treatment when connected in the meantime. Since the hip flexors is a troublesome territory to wrap a pressure swathe or cold pack, consider utilizing a cold treatment gadget the company wraps extraordinarily intended to fit the hip and get the most significant inclusion and realize a positive outcome on how to help treat hip flexor pain. Another one is going to be heat therapy. Therapeutic heat can also help on how to treat hip flexor pain and make you more comfortable. While it's not a good idea to apply heat following an injury, a couple of days after that, you can interchange heat after the cold treatment to build bloodstream in the region and reduce inconvenience. Heat can likewise help relax the tight muscles and add to the soreness. The last one we're going to talk about is an electrotherapy device. TENS and PMS units by HealthMate Forever are nerve stimulators for pain relief and muscle stimulators for muscle conditioning. They use electrode pads to target specific nerve and muscle areas. Now, with dealing with the hip flexors, this can be an idea that can target specific areas that you are in inflammation or in pain and really help with the pain relief. Now, I briefly just discussed a few different things that you can look at to help treat hip flexor pain. Now, you may need to do things that are more in depth and try some other medications or different options, but the point is to get better. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns over anything we've talked about today, please comment below. If you'd like more information on any of the sources that we talked about, please check out the links, and thank you for watching.